Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since my last video, and the reason for that is that I started working for a new company a couple months ago, and to be honest, that has been pretty exhausting since. A lot of people out there in the tech space talk about how important it is to change your jobs regularly so you can raise your salary as fast as possible. And while this is very true, you will probably get the biggest raises when you switch to a different company, including signing bonuses, etc. Nobody tells you how hard and tiring it can be to switch to a different company and get used to a completely different routine. This has been my first job switch since I've completed my studies, so I just wanted to tell you a little bit about it, and I hope that my experiences can provide some value to anyone in a similar situation. But before we start, let me get to my office. Now that I'm in the office, let me tell you why I wanted to switch my job to begin with. Well, there are the obvious reasons like more money, more benefits, etc. But for me, it actually wasn't only that. Actually, I was super happy in my previous job. After I completed my apprenticeship in 2022, I just stayed in the company because I liked the people there. And the best part was that I shared an office with one of my best friends who was also working there. So why did I leave? The main reason was that I was bored. The projects I was working on were all pretty much done, and my daily routine consisted of very small bug fixes or minor code improvements. There simply wasn't enough work to keep me occupied for an entire day, let alone a whole week. And sure, that can be fun for a couple of weeks because everything was so chill, but it got boring a lot quicker than I thought. And after a while it became quite frustrating to approach my project leads for more work, only to have them say, oh well, just do some refactoring or something. And all of that slowly made me think about leaving. And of course, the financial aspect was also a reason that pushed me towards looking for a new job, since I had the feeling I could get paid more. I want to tell you a little bit about the first couple of weeks in the new job. But first, let's rewind a bit. So after I signed the contract and knew my start date, I wanted to prepare myself a little bit and asked my future boss if he's got any good learning resources I could look at before I started. Note that I had a 3-month notice period in my old job, so I had quite some time to prepare. I did look at those resources and try to learn a little bit about Symfony, but since I've already worked a lot with PHP frameworks in the past, I was pretty optimistic about it. So my first week in the new job began and I slowly got introduced to everything. There were a lot of things that I was already familiar with, like most of the dev tools, but there was one big thing I was worried about from day one: React. Of course, I've also worked with JavaScript in the past, but I never went super deep and mostly used vanilla JS, but never really a JS framework, let alone such a heavy one like React. And it wasn't just React I was struggling with. The project I started working on was enormous. So it wasn't only a technical challenge to complete my work, but it was almost even more challenging to gather all the necessary project knowledge to do anything at all. And I really thought I was past this feeling, but imposter syndrome hit me like a train. So I bought an 80-hour React course on Udemy for like 15 bucks and started learning how to use React properly. But I also have to say that my new coworkers were super friendly and always there if I had a question or struggled with anything. So if some of you guys are watching, thanks for that. But you know what? Looking back, I wish I knew about Scrimba when I was learning React. It would have made my journey so much easier. Scrimba is this incredible coding platform that's perfect if you're just starting to learn to code, or if you're already experienced and just want to learn some new stuff. I've seen so many coding course platforms in the past, but they were all kind of the same. And what really got me hooked about Scrimba is their unique teaching format. Imagine watching a video where the instructor is explaining concepts, but at the same time you're already inside the code editor where you can see and edit the code in real time. And while the course proceeds, you'll get to these challenge points where you can directly implement what the instructor just told you, and whenever you're ready, just click submit and continue with the course. It's honestly one of the coolest and most effective ways to learn I've seen so far. Also, you can start coding directly in your browser without installing anything. They've got a ton of cool courses and a lot of them are free, which is kinda rare nowadays. But even the paid ones are totally worth it because all their courses are taught by professional developers who know their stuff. They have this big course that's called Front-End Developer Career Path in collaboration with Mozilla MDN, and it's designed to take you from absolutely zero to job-ready front-end dev, even if you've never written a line of code before. And my personal favorite at the moment is the entire section about AI. I've wanted to dive into AI development for a while now, but always found some excuses not to do it. But now I finally have some motivation to get started. So whether you're struggling with React like I was, or you're just starting out, go and check out Scrimba for yourself. I've put some of my favorite courses in the video description so you can check them out yourself. And big thanks to Scrimba for sponsoring the video and supporting the channel. I'm a person that really needs his routine. I like getting up early and be the first one in the office when nobody is around yet. And even though I don't have fixed working hours, I choose to work the same hours every day because it adds some structure to my day. I didn't have to change my morning routine at all because my new firm is only 1 minute away from where I used to work, so at least that didn't change. But one big thing that did change is that I'm not working from home at the moment, which at the beginning was quite a big change. In my old job I was working from home 2 days of the week, which was definitely very cool, but I definitely got used to it. I would be lying if I said I never want to work remotely again, but coming to the office actually has some unexpected perks. Take food for example. When I was at home, I usually wasn't very motivated to cook anything if it was just for myself, and therefore I usually went with some faster and less healthier options. You know how it is. But here at the office we have our own restaurant, which has good and healthy food every day, and with all the employee discounts we get, it actually might be cheaper than cooking at home. Now let's talk about some of the not so cool things. I've already mentioned the imposter syndrome earlier, and that was really no joke. Remember, the last months of my old job were just super chilled and allowed me to take everything super slow with no stress whatsoever. Well, that changed drastically in the new job. It was the complete opposite actually. From day one, I found myself in this super well structured and organized Scrum team that knew exactly how much time an experienced developer should need for different tasks, and therefore the estimated times were brutal for me at the beginning. Of course, they didn't expect me to push flawless code right away or nail every task perfectly on time, but you know how it is. It became an ego thing and I tried my best to keep up. And it wasn't just the tech I was struggling with. I also had to do everything on a Mac, which I had never touched before. By the way, check out my video about changing from Windows to Mac. And while you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe. What I want to say is the pressure was intense. I mean, trying to keep up with the team, learning about this massive new project, and not wanting to disappoint anyone because I was the new guy. It was a lot, and going home after a day of that and trying to learn some more about React was just exhausting. There were days I came home and basically just fell asleep until the next morning, but looking back now I can say that it was absolutely worth it. I'm a much better developer than I was 5 months ago, and I'm still learning so many new things every day. It's super cool to work in a team where you have so many skilled devs around, which can add a bunch of value to your work and ideas. My body and my brain finally got used to everything, and meanwhile I have a lot more energy again. So of course I'm planning to make more videos again, so don't forget to subscribe. I hope you liked the video, and if you have similar experiences, I'd be happy to hear about them in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.